Hello, friends. This is your host, Mel, and tonight we travel to a darker corner of the old radio dial. Our destination is Springbok Radio in South Africa, where between 1968 and 1970, listeners tuned in to a chilling anthology series called Beyond Midnight. Produced by Michael McCabe, the program replaced the earlier science fiction series SF-68 and shifted the focus to something even more unsettling: tales of the supernatural, the unexplained, and the darker side of human nature. Like the great American horror programs of the Golden Age, each episode of Beyond Midnight presented a self-contained story. Some explored haunted houses and restless spirits. Others dealt with curses, strange coincidences, or the terrifying possibility that the greatest evil might lie within the human mind itself. Because the show aired on Springbok Radio, a commercial service broadcasting across southern Africa, Beyond Midnight reached audiences in places far beyond South Africa. Late at night, listeners across the region would gather around their radios to hear these eerie stories unfold, often with atmospheric sound design and dramatic performances that made the darkness outside feel just a little closer. Tonight, we're stepping back into that world. But first, a quick word from the sponsor helping keep this channel on the air. This episode is brought to you by Pins and Aces, a Colorado-based brand making premium golf apparel, hats, bags, and accessories designed to perform on the course and stand out everywhere else. Their gear is made in the USA with quality you can feel. Listeners of this channel can enjoy 21% off your entire purchase by using promo code WilburHatch. Just head over to pinsandaces.com, use the code WilburHatch at checkout. The link will also be listed for you in the comments. And of course, any purchase using that code helps support this channel and keeps these classic radio programs alive for everyone to enjoy. Now then, turn down the lights, settle in, and let us step beyond midnight.
Another day. 17 left. 17 short, swift days. And you'll be 40, Robert Holmes. 40 years old.
Yes? Oh, leave it there, please. No, on the table there.
Thank you. 40 years old.
Generally, it is the so-called frailer or weaker sex who are so conscious of the passage of time that they hear the knell of doom in the number 40. Generally speaking, that is. To Robert Holmes, though, 40 held all the terrors that modern man can imagine within its two crisp syllables. 40. 17 days short. Oddly, with each succeeding year, the age gap between him and 𝒆𝒆 seemed to widen, as if time were carrying him along and leaving her behind. In the beginning, she had looked at him as being attractively mature, while now he felt she regarded him as growing old. It was no trick of the imagination, the way he saw 𝒆𝒆 looking at the younger men in the club, and a number of them, young bucks like Edward Mathis, were not above doing something about it. Poor Robert. He should have done something about it himself. Instead, he allowed it to prey on his mind, and that pathetic little number, the one that comes after 39, carried him beyond midnight.
Biotex, the new soak and pre-wash powder, presents Beyond Midnight by Michael McCabe.
I had a letter recently from Mrs. V.P. Head of 7th Street, Parkmore, Johannesburg, and she said, "I cannot fully describe my utter delight on returning to the washing to find the stubborn stains of 2 months' standing completely removed. I am so glad I discovered your product, Biotex. And now Mrs. J. Longman of Cambridge, West East London, wrote to say, just a word of thanks for your new soak and wash powder, Biotex. I find it almost too good to be true. I've just finished my first packet, and I washed all my baby's woolens with it, and they really do stay white. And what is more, they keep their shape so well, too. Once again, thanks for a wonderful product. I'm just hoping you won't wait too long before putting a large economy-size packet on the market. Well, thank you, Mrs. Head of Parkmore, and Mrs. Longman, for your endorsements. I, too, can endorse Biotex by making certain claims to you, ladies, the most important of which is that with Biotex, the stubbornest, the very stubbornest stains just vanish merely by soaking.
I'll get it, darling. Hello? Oh, hello, Beryl. Look, I've been dying to hear what happened the other day.
29. I thought she looks 23. Got beauty, youth, money too. Always gregarious. Thought she'd become a bit calmer, though, after marriage. She did, I suppose, but only for a year or two. But then I didn't look old. Hair hadn't even begun to recede. Graying now, falling out. I look about 80. Getting a double chin, too. Can't get away from it. Really unfair. I think it's all happening to her. I wouldn't mind if she got a few lines as well. Bastard woman's going backwards. She's getting younger.
Bye. Yes, of course, Beryl, love. Bye.
Bye.
Robert, you see, felt his security imperiled. In fact, he had completely, by this time, convinced himself that the only answer to his problem lay in his wife's death.
Oh, dear. That Beryl, she is the limit, she really is.
Beryl?
Oh, you know Beryl?
No, I don't.
Oh, of course you do, darling. Beryl Crimmer. She got married last spring to that tennis player, John something or other. We were all terribly surprised. He's at least 7 years younger than she is. Mavis thinks he's the most beautiful man she's ever known. I've never seen hair so fair, and he's got so much of it.
Yes, 𝒆𝒆 had youth, vitality, and longevity. It was a family trait. This combination virtually eliminated all chance for a natural death. Thus, Robert Holmes found himself with a sole possibility. In order for 𝒆𝒆 to die, he would have to kill her himself.
There we are, Mr. Holmes. One dry martini.
Oh, thanks.
You and your martinis, Mr. Holmes. I always thought it was only Americans who drank them. Give me a nice pint any day of the week.
Dry?
As the desert breeze. You've never been to America, have you, Mr. Holmes?
No. No, I've never been to America.
They say it's a wonderful country. That's a nice cigarette case, Mr. Holmes.
Yes, so wife gave it to me for my birthday.
You live out at Huntington, don't you, Mr. Holmes?
Yes, that's right. 134 on the hill.
That's a nice house, I know it. It's got a tennis court, garage for 4 cars. It's big. I used to work for the bloke who owned it during the war. Jack Conyers owned it then. He was a bootlegger.
A what?
That's what they call him in the States, Mr. Holmes. Distillers of and runners of black market liquor. During the war, the customers telephoned their orders, and we'd get the stuff out of the stockroom under the garage and send it out to them at black market prices. Police were never able to
Room
find
under
it.
the garage? But there's no room under the garage.
Well, it's probably been filled in a long time ago, but there used to be one under there. There was a trapdoor in the garage floor and some steps leading down. The door was on a spring, and you had to push it in a certain place to make the trap open. Oh, yes. Oh, excuse me. Got to go. It's customers.
Hello, Hello, Bobby boy. How are you?
Oh, Charlie, you celebrating?
Well, wife's gone away. Visiting her sister. First time she's left me for 15 years. Ooh, look. I might be telling tales out of school and all that, but I just saw your charming bride. Well, maybe I ought to keep my big mouth shut.
What? Come on, you old drunkard, out with it.
Well, I've been around the town to a few pubs today, and...
That I can see.
Well, I was in the Domino earlier on, and that's where I saw Elwood. She was with a youngster called Mathis.
Mathis? Edward Mathis?
Yes, Edward, that's the one, Edward.
You're sure?
Well, look, Bob, I've had a few drinks, but there's nothing wrong with my eyesight. Oh, he's a smart one, that Mathis.
Yeah, very smart.
What would you like to do on your birthday, Bob? It's only a couple of weeks off, you know. You'll be 40.
You don't have to remind me.
What? Or would you like to get a crowd together and go to the club?
I'm not particularly looking forward to this birthday, if you don't mind.
Why? Because you'll be 40. Oh, don't be absurd. You know what they say, life begins at 40.
Oh, for heaven's sake, spare me the cliche. I don't act so blasted smug. One of these days, you too are going to be 40.
40's a long, long way off from me yet. Oh, still, it's nothing to be afraid of.
He glanced down the long table at his wife. She had a secret, of that he was sure. 9 years they'd been married now, 9 years on her money. Even his job in her father's brokerage firm would go down the drain if anything happened to their marriage.
Is anything wrong, Bob?
What did you do today?
Oh, nothing important. Went to the club, played 9 holes, and...
With whom did you play?
What is this, Robert? An inquisition? Well, just what is this all of a sudden? You're acting like a suspicious, peevish old man.
Oh, forget it. I've had a bad day at the office. Forget it.
Yes, she's a beauty, isn't she? Lovely yellow.
Oh, hello. Yeah, one of the most beautiful cars I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh, mamma mia. would you ask Mathis if he's not too busy? I'd like to see him, please.
Oh, Ed won't be in again until this afternoon. Shall I ask him?
No, never mind. I'll come back again some other time.
To blazes with work today. That's what Holmes thought that morning. He drove home again. Her car was not in the garage. He moved moodily about the house for a while, drank 2 drinks, and then suddenly remembered what the barman had said about the old trapdoor in the cellar of his house. With a strange excitement, he went to investigate. Something had clicked in his mind.
He must be right. I filled the belly thing in. Doesn't seem to be in here. No, he wasn't telling fairy stories. And it isn't filled in either.
Quickly, Holmes grabbed the flashlight and, climbing through the trap, made his way down a flight of stone steps into... what? The room under the floor was large, approximately the size of the garage itself. The mold-encrusted ceiling was formed of steel I-beams surmounted by the concrete garage floor. The 4 walls were concrete, too. The floor was hard-packed to earth. The air was close and fetid.
This is it. This is the answer. A few details here and there, and my future is secure.
For the man who knows how to handle his car. Johnson's Raleigh, the new car wax with the detergent-proof formula, won't wash off. It's detergent resistant. Raleigh gives sure wax protection that's deep and long-lasting. And the finish is fast, very fast. Johnson's Raleigh car wax in liquid or paste form.
Soak, that's all you have to do. Soak, just for an hour or 2 you'll find things look as good as new when you use new Biotex.
Amazing new Biotex soaks stubborn stains away.
Clean, everything soon will be clean, for all the world to see. Soak, stains away easily when you use new Biotex.
Get amazing new Biotex today and let soaking do the washing.
On a Thursday, a week and 2 days before his 40th birthday, Robert Holmes decided not to go to work. He told his wife he had some paperwork to wade through, and accordingly he shut himself into his study and waited. The observer hidden with him in that room, though, would have observed that the gentleman in question opened no books, picked up no pens. Instead, he merely waited and listened, close by the door. After a while, he heard 𝒆𝒆 go to the telephone, make a call, and agree with one of her women friends to play golf that day. She replaced the phone, just as Robert stepped out into the hall.
Oh, hello, darling. Finished already?
No, just taking a breather.
Well, I hate to make you jealous, but...
What's that? Well, what's that on your neck?
Neck?
Just...
Yes, Robert did a very workmanlike job of throttling 𝒆𝒆𝒔. As soon as he had finished, he carried her down to the room under the garage and buried her in the shallow grave he had dug the day before. By the time he carried this out, washed his hands and straightened his tie, barely 5 minutes had passed. In another 15 minutes, he was sitting at his desk at his office in town. Came 4:30 that afternoon.
Miss Cook, I've got a bit of a nasty pain in my stomach. In fact, I don't feel well at all. I'd like you to ring my wife, please. If she's not at home, she'll be either at the Dawsons or with some friends.
I'm sorry, Mr. Holmes, awfully sorry. I've tried all the places you said, but no one's seen her today.
Huh?
This Mrs. Bascom said she talked to your wife this morning. They were supposed to play golf together. Apparently Mrs. Holmes just didn't turn up.
That's strange.
Yes, sir.
Very strange. Not like 𝒆𝒆𝒔 at all. Did you try my home phone?
Oh, yes, sir. That's the first place I tried. No one answered. How does your tummy feel now?
Seems to be getting worse, if anything. Must have been something I had at lunch.
Well, you shouldn't go home if there's no one there.
Here. That's the number of the woman who does for us. It's Thursday today, her day off. Call her and explain the situation.
Yes,
tell her to take a taxi out to the house and say, I'll be there within the hour.
Would you like me to drive you home, Mr. Holmes?
That's very nice of you. I hate to inconvenience you, though.
Oh, it's no trouble, sir. I'll get your hat and coat, shall I? You won't need your briefcase, will you? Or is there something...
Yes. No, quite. Yes, of course. No, I phoned them. Yes. No, I suppose not. Oh, thank you. What about the last of the hospitals? In fact, it is the last within 20 miles, anyhow.
Well, could she have gone on a trip, do you suppose?
Oh, no, she'd have told me. Anyway, our car's still there.
Maybe you should call the police. Mum had to do that about Dad once. They found him 3 months later, sitting in a park in Manchester, feeding the pigeons.
Well, if I don't hear anything within the hour, I will call them. Yes, I better do that. Now, where's Mrs. Ruddy Watson? You phoned her. She promised to be here. Look, I don't want to keep you.
I've told you before, Sergeant Wilkins, and I'll tell you again. People do not simply disappear. She's got to be somewhere.
Oh, we've checked and rechecked every way she could have left the town, Inspector, and she didn't leave. She's still here somewhere. Yeah, perhaps we'd better let the newspapers have a crack at it.
You know that's out. Her father's a very big man. The editors of some of the biggest national papers are like Siamese twins to him, let alone the locals. He doesn't want anything in the paper about it. He says she might have just gone away for a while and doesn't want to be embarrassed.
You know, that husband knows more than he's saying.
Maybe he killed her.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me one bit.
And what did he do with the body?
Well, maybe he buried her. Maybe he dissolved her in acid and washed her down the drain. I don't know what he did with her.
We've been through and over every darned inch of the ground on the property. If just supposing he did bump her off, Sergeant, where the heck did he bury her?
Well, anyway, Holmes can account almost for every second from the time Mrs. Bascom talked to his wife on the phone until the time he found in the missing persons report. His alibi's too darn good.
A jury doesn't convict people for having good alibis.
And suddenly a whole new world opened up before Robert Holmes. Exciting possibilities. There were no boundaries, it seemed to him now. The world was his oyster. He decided that it was a holiday he was needing. A long, long holiday. Of course, he'd keep the house. He would refrain from letting it or anything stupid like that.
You can't let the ruddy thing.
Not with what the room under the garage contained.
Not with what's downstairs.
Although, of course, who could ever find it?
But then, no one could ever find it.
They might just get into conversation with the barman.
Might just happen to talk with old Dutch in the bar. Oh, that's a bit dodgy.
Certainly would. Imagine it.
Oh, so you're renting number 134 on the hill. Used to wait 3 years ago. Before the present owner, of course. Rich geezer has it now. His wife disappeared in mysterious circumstances. It's never been found. Some people reckon he had something to do with it, but they never managed to make anything of it. Yes, well, underneath the garage floor, there's this cellar place. All you do, as I remember, is to find a certain place on the wall.
Oh, no, definitely not Robert Holmes.
Certainly not. Lock the whole place up. Put it in the hands of reliable lawyers. So take it. I'll return from time to time, of course.
Of course. Otherwise,
People might think I've run away. South of France, I think. Then, Switzerland. It'd be wise to check with that inspector chap, I think. After all, it's only been 9 days. All the beautiful ladies in the world are waiting for you, Bob Holmes. 40? What sort of an age is 40 anyway to a man with money? Oh, hello. Inspector Jason, please. Yes, I think he is expecting me to ring. Thank you. Bless you. Touchy for reminding me of the Roman. Hello. Inspector. Robert Holmes here. Yes. No. Look, Inspector, I've got to get away, just for a while. It's been a terrible strain on me, as you can imagine. France. Oh, yes, of course. And if she turns up, as I'm sure she must, the silly girl, now you can contact me. No, I'm sorry, Inspector. I will not allow such a terrible possibility to prey on my mind. Now, I'm sure she merely decided on the spur of the moment to... Oh, thank you. That's nice of you. But it's perfectly all right then. I mean, I thought I'd just check. Good, fine. Well, as soon as I've got an address, I'll... Yeah. Right. Cheerio. Thank you for all your help.
No ordinary day, this. It was Robert Holmes' 40th birthday. He had allowed the woman who did for him leave for an indefinite period, on a generous retainer, of course. He began to pack. Then he discovered an annoying thing. He couldn't find the diamond-studded tie clip that 𝒆𝒆𝒔 had given him for his 39th birthday. He tried to remember when he had last worn it. It had been the day he had killed 𝒆𝒆𝒔. He remembered dressing and waiting for her to make a phone call. Later, he had carried her down to the room. He had placed her in the grave and covered her.
Blast. It's got to be down there. It's the only place it can be. Oh, I can't leave it. Cost at least £1,000. Diamonds are huge. Anyway, anyone ever found the room and found her? And the tie clip was there, too. No, there's no risk anyway. I'm alone.
And so, accordingly, he got a torch, opened the trap, and started down the stairs. He was halfway down when he heard the car approach.
Oh, the blazes. The coppers must be...
With his ear to the trapdoor above him, Robert realized that the car, and whoever had driven it there, had come into the garage. It had to be the police.
I'll wait for you here.
Who's that? It's not the police.
Several minutes passed. Then came another voice.
Nobody seems to be home. The back door's open, but no one came when I rang. Might be in the bar. She said deliver it this morning. I wondered if that. It's his birthday. What shall we do?
Suddenly, Robert recognized the second voice. Ed Mathis.
Mathis?
We'll leave the car where it is. It's paid for. We'll go back to town in your car.
Waiting a decent interval, Robert searched for the tie clip and found it. Now he was ready to go. South of France, blue waters, and film starlets with loose morals awaited him. Swimming, fishing, sailing, golf. The door remained shut. He placed his back against the trap. He strained against it with all the power of his back and legs. And then he felt a wave of terror. Like a page slowly unfolding before him, he saw it. Ed Mathis. The secret meeting with 𝒆𝒆𝒔. Mathis was a car salesman at the place where he had admired the beautiful car that day. His birthday. 40. And standing there like a poised missile, just inches above him, the yellow, beautiful sports car, with one wheel resting firmly on the trap door.
Darling, let's go out and paint the town red.
But what about your headache?
Oh, that's gone. Grandpa Headache Powders did the trick.
Grandpa Headache Powders kill pain, soothe strained nerves, and lift depression. Grandpa Headache Powders are extra effective because they have a triple action. Grandpa Headache Powders work extra fast because they dissolve almost immediately. Get fast, effective relief from any pain, all pain. Get Grandpa Headache Powders.
Ah, Grandpa. Soak, soak. That's all you have to do. Soak, soak. Just for an hour or two you'll find things look as good as new when you use new Biotex.
With amazing new Biotex, the stubbornest stains will vanish. Yes, vanish clean away. Just by soaking your laundry overnight in cold water, or for an hour or two in warm water, or by pre-washing it quickly in your washing machine. Get amazing new Biotex today.
Beyond Midnight is presented every Friday night at 9:30 by Biotex, the new soak and pre-wash powder. The program is adapted for broadcasting and produced by Michael McCabe.
The fly-speckled lettering on the window read,
"The Bright Spot Restaurant." Great.
There was a counter joint with a single row of hard-backed booths lining one wall. Half a dozen customers squatted on stools at the end of the counter near the door. He walked past them, slid into a stool at the far end. There he sat, staring at the three waitresses. None of them looked right to him, but he had to take a chance. He waited until one of the women approached him.
Yours, mister?
Something cool. Say, does a Mrs. Helen Cross work here?
I'm Helen Cross.
She didn't look right to him either. But the lady said she was Helen, and he guessed she ought to know. But she didn't look right. He looked her over. He had no time for women. Women try and make a monkey out of a man, all women. Women have to be treated rough. There's no other way to treat women. No woman, though, would ever make a monkey out of him. Not Rusty Connors. She went to get him something cool, and he sat and worked things out.
What kind of a switch is this? Mike said she was tall, cool, blonde, and stacked. This one's tall, but boy, that's about it. but it still could be okay. With what I got in mind at the end, it doesn't matter what she looks like. Helen Krauss, huh?
Beyond Midnight.
There you are. Try that.
What is it?
Kind of drink. Not liquor. We don't serve liquor. It's cool.
Yeah? I'm looking for a Helen Krauss who used to live over in Norton Center. She was married to a man named Mike.
That's me. So what's all this about?
I got a message from your husband.
Mike? He's dead.
I know. I was with him when he died. Or just before, anyway. I'm Rusty Connors. We was cellmates for 2 years.
It's a message.
I can't talk here. What time you get off?
7:30.
Good. I'll meet you outside.
Make it down the corner, across the street. To the park.
Okay.
And he went without looking back. Her hair was a dull, mousy brown. She tipped the scales at 170 at least. She wore glasses, too. Mike must have been mad. He had said she looked like the dame who played the dumb blonde on TV. And when it came to loving... Still, Rusty Connors had other things in mind. And anyway, what was a woman? The world was rotten with them. And not one of them would ever make a monkey out of him. Connors just hoped that Mike had been telling the truth about the other thing. He hoped Mike had been telling the truth about hiding away the $56,000.
Yeah. Stays light longer these days. Guess summer's really coming at last. So, what's all this about? What message did Mike say to give?
Smoke?
No, thanks. I don't smoke. So what...
He told me a lot about you, Helen.
He wrote a lot about you, too. Said you were the best friend he ever had.
I'd like to think so. Mike was a great guy in my book. Both of us got a bad break, I guess. I was just a kid who didn't know the score. The boss handed me the suitcase full of dough and said to get out the back way. Next thing I knew, there was this copper coming at me. I hit him with a case. So the copper ends up with a fractured skull and dies.
He had a tough deal.
So did he, Helen. An honest John like him up and knocking off his best friend in a payroll stick-up. And all alone, too. And then getting rid of the body so they'd never find it. They never did find Pete Taylor, did they?
I don't want to talk about it, please.
I know how you feel.
And he took her hand. It was plump and sweaty.
It was just circumstantial evidence that pinned it on him, wasn't it?
And he went up for 10 years.
And did too, and died. But he never told how he got rid of the body. And he never told where he put the dough.
That's right. Guess they beat him up something awful. He wouldn't tell him a thing.
He ever tell you?
What do you think? I've been working for 2 years in that lousy hash joint. Does that sound like he told me anything?
What would you do if you found the money, Helen? Would you turn it over to the cops?
What for? To say thank you for putting Mike away and killing him? He paid for that money with his life. I'm his widow. Belongs to me. It's mine.
Ours, Helen.
He told you where he hid it? Is that it?
Just a little. I heard enough to give me a pretty good hunch. I figured if I came here, talked to you, we could put things together, find the dough. 56 G's, he said. Even if we split it, that's still a lot of money.
What are you cutting me in for if you know where it is?
Because like I told you, he didn't say enough. We'd have to figure out what it means and then do some hunting. I'm a stranger around here. People might get suspicious if they saw me snooping. But if we worked together, maybe there wouldn't be any need to snoop. We could go right in.
Business deal, is that it?
Not all business, Helen. Maybe I'm screwy, but... Well, maybe you don't know what 2 years in like me, without a woman to sometimes talk soft to.
It's been over 2 years for me, too.
Like I need someplace to go that's quiet and restful.
I got a place that's quiet, Rusty. And restful.
So far, so good. Things are working out. It was a good idea getting buddy-buddy with that little jerk Mike. A louse wouldn't say where he'd stashed the loot, though. It wasn't until he took sick I could handle him without anybody getting wise. I must have half killed him right there in the cell. All I got was just one lousy sentence from him before the guard shut up. Poor Mike, the jerk, died. And they said it was pneumonia. Boy, your woman sure ugly, Mike. You did nothing right. Nothing at all.
Darling, you awake?
Yeah.
Feel like talking now?
Sure.
I thought maybe we'd better make plans.
Yeah, you're right, baby. Well, let's start at the beginning. With what Mike told me before he died. He said they'd never find the money because Pete still had it.
Is that all?
What more do you want? It's plain. The dough's with Pete Taylor's body.
For 2 years, all the cops in the county haven't been able to find the body. Thought you had something. It was wrong. Should have known.
All we have to do is figure out where to look.
Sure. Real easy.
Think back now. Where'd the cops look?
They searched our place, of course. No dice.
Where else?
Well, sheriff's men combed the woods, even dragged the lake. Taylor was a bachelor. He had a shack in town and went on the lake, too. Ripped them both apart. Even drained the quarry, dug up ditches, everything.
Pete Taylor and your husband were pals, right?
Yeah, they got along great together.
Well, what do they do? They drink? Play cards? What?
Mostly they hunted. Fished. Like I say, Pete had this shack on the lake, 3 miles out of Norton Center. I tell you, they dug up everything around there, floor bars, everything.
What about sheds, boathouses?
Well, there was nothing else on the property. When they went fishing, they borrowed a boat from the neighbors. Don't think I haven't tried to figure it out.
For $56,000, there's got to be an answer. What happened when Taylor was killed? Maybe there's something you forgot about.
I don't know. Mike just found himself in the car with Pete and the money, and he just decided to do it.
Well, they said it was planned. They said he knew it was payroll day, and Pete always went to get the cash in his car. Mike must have been waiting in the parking lot behind. They reckon Mike stole Pete's keys so he couldn't get started. Then when the guard had left, they said Mike walked over and just discovered Pete there.
Yeah, something like that.
He came home to you, what'd he say?
Oh, nothing much. Squad car pulled up 2 minutes after he got in.
So he did it and hid the body and the money in between going out and coming back to you. He put up any struggle?
He never said a word. Just took him away. It was a big fuss because his gun was missing. They never found it. They didn't believe him when he said he lost it months before.
Did you believe him?
Well, I don't know.
Anything else?
Well, he had a cut in his hand. It was bleeding a little when he came in. I noticed it. And he said something about rats. He was halfway up the stairs. I didn't hear too good. Later in court, he said he'd caught his hand on the window glass, and that's why there was blood in the car. But they analyzed the blood, and it wasn't his. Checked with Pete Taylor's blood type record.
But when he got home, he told you a rat bit him.
No, he just said something about rats. I couldn't quite make out what. In court, a doctor testified he'd gone upstairs and cut his hand with a razor. They found the razor. There was blood in it.
Wait a minute. It's beginning to add up. A rat did bite him. Maybe when he was getting rid of the body. But if anybody knew, they'd look for a place where there was rats. So he covered up by opening up the wound with his razor. Yeah.
Well, maybe, but where does that leave us? We're not going in every place with the rats in Norton Center.
I hope not. I hate the blame things. Give me the creeps. Used to see them in the service hanging around the docks. Great big fat things. just a minute. You say when Pete and Mike went fishing, they borrowed a boat from the neighbors. Where'd the neighbors keep their boat?
Well, they had a boathouse.
The cops searched there? Did they?
I don't know. I guess so.
Maybe it didn't look good enough. Were the neighbors on the property that day?
No.
You sure?
Sure enough, they're dead. They were a city couple from Chicago, name of Thomason. 2 weeks before the payroll robbery, they got themselves killed in an auto accident on the way home.
Sure is a healthy place. Everybody dies. So nobody was around at all, and Mike knew it.
Do you think that...
Who's living in the neighbor's place right now?
Well, no one, the last I heard. You see, they didn't have any kids, and the real estate man couldn't sell it. Pete Taylor's place vacant, too. Same reason.
It adds up. It adds up. If I'm right, it adds up to 56 grand.
Darling.
When can we go?
Tomorrow, if you like. It's my day off. We could use my car. Oh, darling, I'm so excited. Oh.
And Mike's Helen leaned all over him and kissed him, and he had to pretend to like it. He had to pretend to like it for 56,000 reasons.
What are you thinking about, darling?
He opened his mouth, and the truth popped out.
All that dough. 28 G's apiece.
Does it have to be a piece, darling?
Plus, you want it that way.
And he smiled cruelly, but she couldn't see because it was dark, and her mouth nibbled at his ear, and he felt slightly sick. But of course, she couldn't know that either. 56,000. His mind went back to the money. It would all be his after they'd found it. All he had to do was to rub her out. It was a good job it was dark. She couldn't read what was in his eyes. No woman would ever make a monkey out of Rusty Connors. He spent the morning and afternoon with her in her room, because he had to. There was no sense in letting them be seen in the town together. By the time twilight came, he would have killed her anyway, just to be rid of her. She was so hungry. Anyway, when the light went a little, he didn't have to face act anymore. The important thing was to find that black metal box. After a while, Connors went downstairs and walked around the block a couple of times. Later, she picked him up in her car, and they went to the neighbor's place. They parked the car behind Pete Taylor's shack.
Here, flashlight. Suppose you want to go straight down to Thompson's place, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. Ain't no use looking around here. You see, the cops took Taylor's place pretty thoroughly apart.
They sure did. It's down this way, to the left. Be careful, the path's slippery.
It was treacherous going in the darkness. Rusty followed her, wondering if now was the time. He could pick up a rock, and he decided he'd better wait. First see if the money was there, and see if there was a good place to leave her body. Connors contemplated murder like some men contemplate the baseball results. There had to be a good place. Mike had found them. They found the boathouse. It was padlocked. He picked up a rock.
Stand back.
Inside, they needed the flashlight. They saw the glow of 100 little cigar butts winking at them like eyes. He realized they were eyes.
Rats. Looks like our hunch was right.
Helen moved behind him. She wasn't afraid. He was. He didn't like rats. In places, the concrete floor was just rubble. Connors flashed the light around and back, around and back again.
It's no use. It couldn't be this easy.
There's still a house. Wait a minute.
What?
Wait a minute. Notice anything? The roof.
What?
The roof. It's higher than the ceiling.
So what?
There could be a space up there.
Yeah,
Space
but...
up Up there. And, you think?
You reckon?
Could be.
Well,
come on.
Where are you going?
Up the house. We need a ladder.
And he went to the house for a ladder. And he didn't have to break in either. He found a ladder. And all the time he was looking for it and carrying it back to the boathouse, he thought of the money.
Now we'll see. This is what I've been waiting for so long.
Me too. You don't even know, Rusty. Oh, I hope. Oh, go on, climb up.
Wait, just wait a minute.
Sorry, darling. I just want us to find it and get away from this place and begin living.
Yeah, begin living. Sweating all those lousy years inside. Wondering what I was going to do when I got out. Well, for the last part of it,
He imagined he heard tiny scutterings and scrapings from up above. He thought of Mike and the bleeding hand. He thought of the eyes like cigar butts. He'd always hated rats. Still, he didn't mount the ladder.
Oh, what's the matter? Huh?
Nothing's the matter. Why should anything be the matter?
Why didn't you go up? It's got to be up there.
I know
Nowhere
that.
else.
I know it.
Well?
Look, will you lay off a minute?
It's just that by the time it's light...
Okay, I know.
We shouldn't be seen around here when it's not dark anymore.
I think I don't know that.
You want me to go up there? I said
I heard
you
what
want...
you said. No, I'll go up. Just...
You scared or something?
Scared? You must be nuts.
Huh?
Yeah,
It seemed pretty solid. There was a layer of tar paper.
Keep that flashlight steady, huh? Hey, what are you doing?
Sorry, I just...
Huh? What are you doing?
Yeah. There's a crowbar here. I found a crowbar. Do you want it?
Yeah.
Could you use a crowbar?
Wait, I'll come down and get it. Yeah. I can use a crowbar. For two things.
Here.
Okay.
What's there? Is there a space between...
Yeah, I guess so. A lot of paper.
Paper?
Tar paper, stuck over. I guess that was put there after...
Yeah, well, go up. Go see.
Okay. Just hang on, Helen.
I've been hanging on. For 2 years I've been hanging on.
No, you won't have to hang on much longer, baby. Not much. No. Look.
Huh? What'd you say? You found...
I said not much longer, Helen. I need the flashlight, Helen.
Here. Shine it so that I can get down, will you?
Sure.
Connors searched, cramped as he was in the space between the roof and the ceiling. He was scared of the rats and of not finding anything. But he needn't have worried. He didn't have to look for long. The flashlight picked out the tin box, and then the flashlight moved a bit behind the box and... The flashlight picked out the thing. Rusty knew it was Pete Taylor because it had to be, but there was no way of identifying it. The rats, a skeleton, and a black metal box. The bills were in stacks. He smelled the money, kissed it. It smelled good. It smelled of perfume and tenderloin steak and the leathery seat cover aroma of a shiny new car.
What have you found? You found anything?
Yeah, it's here. I've got it. Hold the ladder, I'm coming down.
He handed her the crowbar and the flashlight, but he kept his fingers on the black metal box. He wanted to hold that himself. It was going to be easy. He'd figured it all out in advance. Everything, that is, except the part about handing her the crowbar. That's what she used to hit him with. He must have been out for 10 minutes at least. It was long enough for her to find the rope from somewhere anyway. Perhaps she kept it in the car. Wherever she got it from, she knew how to use it. He opened his mouth, but... When he looked up and blinked at Helen Krauss, he saw that she wasn't wearing her glasses.
I don't need them anymore now. I never did. It was all part of the act, like letting my hair go black and putting on all this weight. For 2 years now, I've put on this dumb slob routine, just so nobody'd notice me. When I leave town, nobody's going to pay any attention either. Sometimes it's smart to play dumb, you know? Oh, yeah, I know. Too bad. I suppose you're finally beginning to figure it out. Mike never meant to pull off any payroll job. Pete and me, we've been cheating on him for 6 months. That day, he just went downtown to kill Pete. Never even thought about the money. Perhaps he was planning on killing me, too. I wouldn't know. I never got the chance to ask where he'd taken Pete or what he'd done with the money. The first thing I did when Mike came home and said what he'd done was to cover up for myself. I swore it was all a pack of lies, that Pete and me hadn't done anything wrong. I said we'd take the money, Mike and me, and go away and start all over again. I was selling him on this when the cops came. He couldn't write to me from prison because they censor all the mail, so my only out was to wait until he came out or somebody else came. And that's how it worked out. Why did I conk you on? For the same reason you were going to conk me. Don't try and deny it. I know creeps like you from way back. And now I'm leaving here. Leaving the dumb waitress prison. I'm going to shed 40 pounds and bleach my hair again. And I'm going to look good again. Oh, incidentally, Mike taught me all about knots. You'll never get free. They'll never find you, just like they'll never find me. I'll put the lock back on that door when I go. There's nothing to tie the two of us together. It's clean as a whistle.
And Helen Krauss took the money and left. And she locked the boathouse door behind her. All that remained of her was a pair of shattered spectacles. Connors lay gagged and bound. And after a while, the rats came back.
Beyond Midnight is presented every Friday night at 9:30 by Biotex, the new soak and pre-wash powder. The program is adapted for broadcasting and produced by Michael McCabe.
It was at a masked ball at the Palais Royal that Hector de Brissac's quarrel with his first cousin Andre began. The quarrel was about a woman. The women who followed the footsteps of Philip of Orleans were the cause of many such disputes, and there was scarcely one fair head in all that glittering throng which might not have seemed bedabbled with blood. There were many beautiful vipers in those days, and she was one of them. There was no need for mention of her name. The quarrel was a fierce one, and there could be but one result.
Biotex, the new soak and pre-wash powder presents Beyond Midnight.
Andre, I shall not swallow my words, cousin. I suggest you leave, sir. An apology. Andre de Brissac apologizes to no man. Hector de Brissac, I call you out, sir. Beyond the church of Saint-Germain-des-Prés. Dawn.
To Andre de Brissac, the insult was terrible. There was only one course of action. The journey beyond the church, where death for one of the cousins waited in the dawn, and for the other, a journey beyond midnight. The white mist rose from the river. The grim outline of the Châtelet and the square towers of Notre Dame were black against the pale grey sky. Andre de Brissac, the favourite of fortune, the favourite of women, his cousin was nothing. A rough soldier who had done his country good service, but in the boudoir, a mannerless boor. Hector de Brissac had struck Andre. A duel that very next dawn. There was no other answer. Andre de Brissac, young, confident, fighting with a smile which expected soon to break into triumph. Andre de Brissac, the welt raised by the blow struck by his cousin, crimson upon his fair, womanish face. They were a strange crowd in that summer sunrise, all fresh from the heat and clamour of the Regent's salons, all dressed in outlandish costume for the masked ball. Andre in a quaint hunting dress copied from a family portrait at Pivasson. And then a rapier flashed in the early rising sun. And Andre de Brissac lay on the ground, the sweet life ebbing from him.
Forgive me, Andre. Listen to me, Hector de Brissac. I am not one who believes that a man has done with earth because his eyes glaze and his jaw stiffens. They will bury me in the old vault at Piverdon, and you will be master of the chateau. Andre, please, listen to me. I know how lightly they take things in these days. Dubois will laugh when he hears Sa has been killed in a duel. They will bury me and sing masses for my soul. But you and I have not finished our affair yet, my cousin. I will be with you when you least look to see me. I, with this ugly scar upon the face that women have praised and loved. Andre, forgive me. I will come to you when your life seems brightest. I will come between you and all that you hold fairest and dearest. My ghostly hand shall drop poison in your cup of joy. My shadow shall shut the sunlight from your life. Men with such iron will as mine can do what they please. Hector de Brissac, it is my will to haunt you when I am dead. Andre, you will say I am forgiven. I beg of you. Say I am forgiven. Andre. Andre!
And Fortune's favourite died, a curse upon his lips. Hector's friends would have him cross the frontier to escape the consequences of his act, but he remained in France. He kept aloof from the court and received a hint that he had best confine himself to his own province. Andre's death made Hector a rich man, but his newly acquired wealth was hateful to him. He lived a lonely existence in the old chateau. The servants and the peasants hated him. They served him, but hated him, because of the memory of their dead master, whom they loved dearly. As he passed by on a proud horse, his face as stone, glancing neither to right nor left, the peasant children crept away frightened, and old women crossed themselves stealthily.
They whisper I have given my soul to the evil one as the price of my cousin's inheritance. I remember my mother's face in all its changes of expression, but I remember no look of affection for me. No woman's love has ever been mine. Perhaps it is that I am cursed. That other woman for whom I killed Andre. I laid my heart at her feet, and she was pleased to accept my homage. But she never loved me, and the end was treachery. But in faith, I cannot live like this. Everything is so dark, desperate, hateful to me. I must go back to Paris, at least for a short while.
And he did go back to Paris, and in Paris an angel took compassion upon him. He journeyed to Paris a broken, dispirited man. He returned to the chateau a king, with a fair young bride.
Eveline, I cannot find words to convey to you how sweet a change you have brought to my life. Now the children follow me, and the crones no longer cross themselves when I ride by, because I have a fair, fair bride at my side.
But why should they ever run from you, Hector?
Oh, because... it's nothing. Merely that they loved my late cousin dearly, and were not happy that I was here in his place. Now they have forgotten him, and in fact, before very long they shall love me, too. They already love you.
Oh, why, Hector, how long have I been here?
Oh, no matter. 1 day, 2 days, a month. Your charities have won the love and respect of all these ignorant creatures. Your companionship has transformed the gloomy old lord of the chateau into a loving husband and a gentle master.
Oh, it is beautiful here.
I feel like a traveler who has traversed the frozen seas of an Arctic region, remote from human love or human companionship, to find himself of a sudden in the bosom of a verdant valley, in the sweet atmosphere of home. Is it real? Is all this real, my Eveline?
Of course it is real, my love. Real, real, real. Of course it is.
And yet, somehow, I cannot help feeling that my new life is but a fantastic dream.
Oh, never, my dearest. You are mine and I am yours, forever and a day. We shall never be parted. No shadow shall ever shut our sunlight away.
What?
Never... Hector, what is it, my sweet?
It is nothing. Talk to me. Say on.
There is something in your face that is not good. What is it, Hector?
Nothing, I swear. It merely seemed that somewhere...
Yes?
Somewhere at some time in some other place, I have heard...
Yes?
I've heard those words, or some very like them before. Sometime.
Words? What words?
Shadow, sunlight,
Is that not reasonable that somewhere in all your man's life you should have heard shadow and sunlight? Oh, Hector, really?
No, really, But silly, foolish. But you must know how sometimes one grasps at something, an echo, and for an instant it seems as if it might prove to be important. And then it is gone again. The words meant nothing, I'm sure.
Oh, come. Come and see the new flowers close by the west gate. They're truly beautiful. Reds and yellows and blues. Oh, Hector, the chateau is the loveliest place upon the whole of the earth.
Hector de Brissac was not lying. He could not remember any significance the word shadow and sunshine might have for him.
My ghostly hand shall drop poison in your cup of joy. My shadow shall shut the sunlight from your life. My shadow will shut the sunlight from your life.
That he will haunt the steps of his enemy after death is the one revenge a dying man can promise himself. But if men had power thus to avenge themselves, the earth would be peopled with phantoms. Is it strange, then, that Hector had forgotten his cousin's terrible promise? It was the age of boudoir art, and a miniature set in the lid of a gold bonbonniere or hidden artfully in a massive bracelet was more fashionable than a clumsy life-size image fit only to hang on the gloomy walls of a provincial chateau rarely visited by its owner. In the library, though, Hector found a picture which awoke painful memories. It was the portrait of a de Brissac who had flourished in the time of Francis I. And it was from this picture that André had copied the quaint hunting dress he'd worn to the masked ball at the Palais Royal on the night of the quarrel. Hector ordered a curtain to be hung before the picture.
Hector? Hector? Hector, who is the lord of the chateau nearest to this?
My dearest, do you not know that there is no other chateau within 40 miles of Piverdon?
Indeed. Oh, that is strange.
Why strange?
Let us go into the garden.
Eveline, why is the fact that there is no other chateau close strange?
Oh, I would not say strange.
But you did say strange. Why?
Oh, Hector. It is simply because, well, during my walks about the park and woods during the last month, I have seen a man.
Man? What man?
Simply a man. By his dress and bearing, he is obviously of noble rank. I imagined he must live nearby, that is all.
Well, I cannot imagine who he might be. My estate lies in a desolate region. Unless when some traveller's coach goes jingling and lumbering through the village, one has little more chance of meeting a gentleman than of meeting a demigod. Have you seen this man often, Eveline?
I see him every day.
Where, dearest?
Sometimes in the park, sometimes in the wood. You know the little cascade, Hector, where there is some old rock work? Oh, it is so neglected. We really must try...
Yes, go on.
Oh, well, there is a kind of cavern. I've taken a fancy to the spot. I go there and read many mornings. Of late I have seen the stranger there every morning.
He has never dared address you?
Oh, never. I have looked up from my book and have seen him standing at a little distance, watching me silently. I have continued reading. When I have raised my eyes again, he has gone. He must approach and depart with a stealthy tread, for I never hear his footfall. Sometimes I have almost wished that he would speak to me. It is so terrible to see him standing silently there.
He is some insolent peasant who seeks to frighten you.
Oh, no, he cannot be a peasant.
Why? Oh, you told me.
His dress, yes. But it is not his dress alone. Not by that alone do I judge. He has an air of nobility, which is impossible to mistake.
Is he young or old?
He is young and handsome.
Huh.
Oh, do not look so disturbed, Hector.
I cannot help it. I do not enjoy the thought of a stranger intruding into your solitude.
He does no harm to me.
It is good for his safety, if not his life, that he has not harmed you. I shall go straight to the village and inquire if any stranger has been seen. I shall also question the servants.
Oh, Hector, my love.
Hector was more disturbed than he wished to admit to his wife. He could not exactly define why. He made full inquiries in the village, but no stranger had been seen. He questioned the servants closely, but they knew of no one new to the vicinity. 𝒆𝒔 determined himself to accompany his wife upon all her walks, and to judge for himself the rank of the stranger. For a long week he did this, devoted all his time to rambles with Eveline in the woods and in the park, but no one did they see.
You tell me only a week ago he was here.
Here, close by this tree, here. Oh, my darling, I fear truly that spending so much time with me is disturbing your studies. You're such a student, and you're wasting time, my sweet. I will spend my time in the pleasance. The stranger cannot intrude upon me there.
I begin to think this stranger is only a phantasm of your romantic brain.
There is one thing that puzzles me, Hector. It completely mystifies me, in fact.
About this person?
Yes. His costume is not modern. He looks as an old picture might look, if it could descend from its frame.
Her words pained him, for they reminded him of that hidden picture in the library, and the hunting costume of orange and purple which Andre de 𝒆𝒔 wore at the Regent's ball. After this, Eveline confined her walks to the pleasance, and for many weeks there was no mention of the nameless stranger. Hector dismissed him from his mind. During the days that followed, Eveline's health began to droop. The change in her was so gradual as to be almost imperceptible to those who watched her day by day.
You will go with all haste to Paris. Summon one of the court physicians to come here at once, at the request of Hector de 𝒆𝒔.
But many days must elapse before he can arrive at Redon.
And he watched his wife with unutterable fear.
It is not only her health that has declined. The change is something else. Something more than physical alteration. Her bright and sunny spirit is vanished almost completely. She seems weighed down by rooted melancholy.
My darling one, I can see there is something wrong. Your every glance, your...
what is it, Eveline?
I have no reason for sorrow, Hector. No reason for discontent. If I seem to you sad without a motive, then you must forgive me. Please consider it a misfortune rather than a fault.
There is a physician due soon from the court. He will find a cure. After all, if there are no grounds for sorrow, then it must be a physical thing, and small at that.
Yes, it must be. Perhaps the good physician will be able to help me. I'm sorry to have distressed you in this way, Hector. So sorry.
Well, you really seem to have forgotten your mysterious cavalier of the wood.
Hector!
You have never seen him since you deserted your woodland grotto, have you?
Hector! I see him every day, and it is that which is killing me!
My darling, my love, this is madness. You know that no stranger can come to you in presence. The moat is 10 feet wide and always full of water, and the gates are kept locked day and night by old Massou. The chatelaine of a medieval fortress need fear no intruder in.
I see him every day!
Eveline. She must be mad. How can anyone possibly... But I must question her no further. It would be ill to give a form and substance to the shadow that torments her by too close inquiry about its looks and manner, its coming and going.
I must assure you, de 𝒆𝒔, that your lady is completely and utterly sane in all respects. I have spent an hour with her and can find nothing.
Oh, thank you.
It is just possible that she may be affected by one delusion, but she is so reasonable upon all other points that I can scarcely bring myself to believe her to be the subject of a monomania. But what I am rather inclined to think that she really sees this person of whom she speaks. But is there any kinsman of your steward or hanger-on of your household? A young man with a fair, womanish face, very pale, and rendered remarkable by a crimson scar which looks like the result of a blow.
What? No. And the dress, the strange old-fashioned dress.
The man wears a hunting costume in purple and orange.
And Hector knew that André de Brissac had kept his word, and in the hour when his life was brightest, his shadow had come between him and happiness.
Come, I will show you.
It is witchcraft, Hector. The dress in that picture is the dress of the man I have seen in the Pleasance. But the face is not his.
And then she described the face of the man who was following her everywhere, and it was the face, line by line, of André de Brissac. And most vividly of all, she described the mark of the blow. And Hector carried his wife away from the chateau to the southern provinces and into the heart of Switzerland. But the ghost of André de Brissac followed them.
He will not let me be at peace. He comes between us, Hector. He is standing between us even now. I can see his face with the red mark upon it, plainer than I can see yours.
One fair moonlight night, when they were together in a mountain village in the Tyrol, Eveline came to her husband. She had been crying.
From the first, I have not hid my sin from heaven. But I fear that death is very near me, and before I die, I would reveal my sin to you.
What sin, my sweet?
When first the stranger came to me in the forest, his presence bewildered and distressed me, and I shrank from him as from something strange and terrible. He came again and again. By and by, I found myself thinking of him and watching for him. His image haunted my mind, haunted me perpetually. I strove in vain to shut out his face. Then followed an interval when I did not see him. To my shame and anguish. Oh, Hector, life to me seemed dull and dreary without him. Then came the time when he haunted the Pleasance. And oh, Hector, kill me if you will, for I deserve no mercy at your hands. I grew in those days to count the hours that must elapse before his coming, to take no pleasure at all, save in that pale face with the brand upon it. He plucked all old familiar joys out of my heart, and left it but one weird, unholy pleasure, the delight of his presence. For a year I have lived but to see him. And now, curse me, Hector, for this is my sin. I know I have striven against this wickedness in vain.
Hector de Brissac took his wife to his breast and forgave her a sin she was never guilty of. And the next night she died, with her hand clasped in her husband's. And at the very last she told him, sobbing and deeply afraid, that he, André de Brissac, was by her side.
Beyond Midnight is presented every Friday night at 9:30 by 𝒆𝒆𝒔, the new soak and pre-wash powder. The program is adapted for broadcasting and produced by Michael McCabe.
A man's worth can be judged by the caliber of his enemies. A man's worth can be judged by the caliber of his enemies.
Burton Grunzer had encountered the phrase in a pocket-sized biography purchased at a newsstand just before the train left the station. A man's worth can be judged by the caliber of his enemies. Burton Grunzer stared reflectively from the murky compartment window. Darkness silvered the glass and gave him nothing to look at but his own image. How many people were enemies of that face? The eyes narrowed by a myopic squint, denied by vanity the correction of spectacles. Of the nose, he secretly called patrician. Of the mouth, that was hard, unrelenting, cruel even.
How many enemies have I got? How many? Oh, I've got a lot of enemies. I'm rich in enemies. Some of them are 24 carat.
This is the story of a man with enemies. This is a tale of a man with foes. This is a story of Burton Grunzer,
who collects opponents like spent matches wherever he goes.
Beyond Midnight by Michael McCabe.
A man like Whitman Hayes, for instance. Whitman Hayes. I'm proud of him. Proud.
Are you, Burton, dear?
Do you think it odd that a man like me should be proud of an enemy?
Not odd, Burton, dear. No, not odd.
What then?
Well, I don't quite know, dear. Mr. Hayes came up from nothing. He's had a very hard life. But mind you, Burton, dear, I'm very proud that you've done far better than he has, and will do far greater things. He is, after all, twice your age. He must be nearly 70 now, Mr. Hayes.
That's what he is. I'm 35. You were right when you said twice as old. Hayes knows the food business, all right. Knows it from every angle. A wagon jobber for 6 years, a broker for 10. He was a food company executive for nearly 20 years before the old man brought him into the organization to sit on his right hand. Pinning Hayes to the mat isn't easy, but it makes doing it even sweeter.
Won't he retire soon, Burton, dear?
Hayes? The Whitman Hayes of this world don't retire. They're carried out of a boardroom one day in a box.
Oh, Burton, really?
He's senile. Trouble is he doesn't know it. He's outlived his usefulness. That's what I trade on. That's what I trade on, and that you have to do in business. I concentrate my questions on the new supermarket and suburbia phenomena to demonstrate to the old man that times have changed, that the past is dead, and that new merchandising tactics are required, and that only a younger man can supply them. Is there mail for me, Jean?
Yes, Burton, dear. There are a few letters. On the hall table.
Don't put my mail on the hall table, Jean. I told you before, this isn't a boarding house.
No, dear. I wonder if you'd like to go to the cinema tonight.
I'm going to have a bath. I'll see to the mail, too, at the same time. I'll have dinner then.
Would you like to go to the cinema tonight, Burton?
What is it?
Love in the Afternoon with Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah.
Well, there's a war film on at the Odeon about the first men to go into the concentration camps after the war. But Burton...
We'll go to that.
Always war and violence and... My own fault, though. I shouldn't have mentioned the other one.
I don't want to be disturbed, Jean.
All right, Burton, dear. We would have stayed at home if I'd only said love in the afternoon. Audrey Hepburn's so lovely, too. I'll go in the week on my own.
Society for United Action. What might that be when it's at home? Dear Mr. Grunzer, your name has been suggested to us.
Suggested to us by a mutual acquaintance. Our organization has an unusual mission which cannot be described in this letter, but which you may find of exceeding interest. We would be gratified by a private discussion at your earliest convenience. If I do not hear from you to the contrary in the next few days, I will take the liberty of calling you at your office. Carl Tucker, Secretary.
His first reaction was defensive. He suspected an oblique attack on his pocketbook. His second was curiosity. He went into the bedroom and looked up Society for United Action. It wasn't there. All the same, he said to himself,
Okay, Mr. Tucker. I'll bite.
Yes? Come. Mr. Grunter, I haven't heard from you, so I assume you don't mind me calling today.
Carl Tucker. Oh, yes. Yes, I received a letter from you.
It's 3 o'clock now. Is it convenient to talk with you?
When you said, yes, in your letter, you said call me. I presumed it was meant in the American sense. A call on the telephone.
Is there a chance that we can talk now, or would it be more convenient?
Yes. Well, that is, if you could give me some idea.
We're not a charity organization, Mr. Grunter, in case you thought I was after money. We don't sell anything either. We're more or less a voluntary service group. Our membership is over 1,000 at present.
To tell you the truth, I've never heard of you.
No, you haven't, and that's one of the assets. May I
Please, won't you
take
a seat?
Thank you. I think you'll understand, though, when I tell you about it. I'm a semi-retired broker, so I'm not here to sell you razor blades. I couldn't if I tried anyway. The subject I want to discuss is rather intimate, so I'll have to ask you to bear with me on a certain point. Could anyone overhear us at all, do you think?
No. No one?
Good. The point is, what I want to say is in the strictest confidence. If you betray this confidence, if you publicize our society in any way, the consequences could be most unpleasant.
Well, right. Yes.
Good. Now, the society has prepared this little spiel about our basic philosophy. But I'm not going to bore you with it. I'm going to go straight to the heart of our argument. You may not agree with our first principle at all, and I'd like to know that now.
First principle?
Well, put in the crudest form, Mr. Grunter. The Society for United Action believes that some people are just not fit to live. There, I said it. Some of our members don't believe in my direct approach. They feel the argument ought to be broached more discreetly, but frankly, I've obtained rather excellent results in this rather crude manner. How do you feel about what I've said, Mr. Grunter?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it.
Were you in the war, Mr. Grunter?
Yes, in the Navy. I don't suppose I thought the enemy fit to live at the time. I suppose there are plenty of other cases, too, now you come to mention it. It's just that I've never given it any thought. Yes, I suppose murderers, these crimes in the papers involving children, perverts, people like that, I suppose they're not fit to live.
So you accept our first principle. It's a question of category, isn't it?
I suppose you could say that.
Good. Now I'll try another blunt question. Have you personally ever wished someone dead? Oh, I don't mean those casual, fleeting wishes everybody has. I mean a real, deep down, uncomplicated wish for the death of someone you think unfit to live. Have you?
And another thing, Grunter. Stop trying to influence young Eckert. Stop trying to corrupt him. Yes, I said corrupt, and I mean corrupt. Eckert's a decent young man. He'll not stoop to your kind of business dealings. He's going to make a very fine manager of bakery products, if you leave him alone. I've watched your face, Grunter. I know your mind. I know what you're thinking. I know you hate me. Well, I don't care. You're worthless, Mr. Grunter. A blot upon the earth. A scheming, nasty, and sue me for slander if you wish, but I will say it. An evil man.
Have you, Mr. Grunter?
Yes. Yes, I wish for the death of someone I think unfit to live. Certainly I have. Miss Monroe, please cancel my appointments for the rest of the afternoon. It doesn't matter. Well, young woman, who is employing whom? Do as I say. Who is employing whom? I often think, Mr. Tucker, I often think we in business would have a much easier time if that axiom were observed. Who is employing...
Quite. So, there are times when the removal of someone from this earth would be beneficial.
Well, this isn't Murder Incorporated, is it?
Hardly, Mr. Grunter, hardly. There is absolutely no criminal aspect in our aims or our methods. I'll admit we're a secret society, but we're not exactly the Black Hand. No, you'd be amazed at the quality of our membership. It even includes members of the legal profession. No, I don't know, thank you. Yes, members of the legal profession. But let me tell you how the society came to be. It began with two men. I can't reveal their names just now. The year was 1949, and one of these men was a lawyer. The other one was a government psychiatrist. Both of them were involved in a rather sensational trial concerning a man accused of a hideous crime against two small boys. In their opinion, the man was unquestionably guilty, but an unusually persuasive defense counsel and a highly suggestible jury gave him his freedom. When the shocking verdict was announced, these two, who were personal friends as well as colleagues, were thunderstruck and furious. They felt a monumental wrong had been committed, and they were helpless to right it.
I see. The psychiatrist.
Ah, yes. For some years, he'd made studies in a field which might be called anthropological psychiatry. One of these researches related to the voodoo practice of certain groups, the Haitian in particular. You've probably heard a great deal about voodoo. Obaya, as they call it in Jamaica. Anyway, I won't dwell on the subject unless you think we hold tribal rites and stick needles into dolls or something. The chief feature of his study, this psychiatrist, was the uncanny success of certain strange practices. Naturally, he, as a scientist, you know, he rejected the supernatural explanation and sought a rational one. And, of course, there was only one answer. When the high priest or whatever decreed punishment or death for someone, it was the guilty person's own convictions concerning the power of the death wish, his own faith in the voodoo power. This made the wish come true. Sometimes he would simply sicken and die. Sometimes, through the voodoo curse, he would die by accident. An accident prompted by the secret belief that once cursed, he must die. Eerie, isn't it?
No doubt.
Anyway, our friend, the psychiatrist, began to wonder, you see, if any of us have progressed far enough along the path of civilization not to be suggestible to this kind of punishment. He proposed that they experiment on this subject just to find out.
What? You mean they actually, with...
They went to see this man, you see, and they announced their intentions. They told him they were going to wish him dead. They explained how and why their wish would become a reality, and although he laughed at them, they saw superstition, fear in his face.
This was the man, the one responsible for the crime.
That's right. They promised him that regularly, every day, they would be wishing for his death until he could no longer stop the mystic juggernaut that would make the wish come true.
Well, that's pretty silly, really, isn't it?
The man died of a heart attack 2 months later.
Ah! I knew you'd say that. Well, there's such a thing as coincidence, you know.
Naturally. That's what our friends told one another. They weren't satisfied, you see, so they tried again.
Again?
I won't recount who the victim was, but this time they engaged the help of 4 associates. This little band of pioneers was the nucleus of the society I represent today.
And you mean to tell me there's 1,000, huh?
Yes, 1,000. And more. All over the country. A society whose one function is to wish people dead. At first, of course, membership was purely voluntary, but now we've got a system. Each new member of the Society for United Action joins on the basis of submitting one potential victim. Naturally, the society investigates to determine whether the victim is deserving of his fate. If the case is a good one, the entire membership then sets about to wish him dead. Once the task has been... I'm sorry? Once the person has met his decreed fate, well, then the new member must take part in all future concerted action. That and a small yearly fee is all that's required for membership. And in case you don't think I'm serious, here are the facts. To date, 229 victims were named by our selection committee. Of those, 201 are no longer alive. Coincidence, Mr. Grunter?
Well, that leaves...
28. Well, this indicates that our method isn't infallible, doesn't it? We're the first to admit that. But new techniques are being developed all the time. I assure you, in the end, we shall get them all. Yes, our members are listed in this book, Mr. Grunter. I'm going to give you the option to call 1, 10, or 100 of them. Call them. Call them and see if I'm telling the truth. Well, what to call? Any of them?
No. I'm willing to take your word for it, Mr. Tucker. It's incredible, but I can see just how it works. I really can. Just knowing that 1,000 people wish you dead is enough to... Well, enough to... There's just one question. You mentioned something about a small fee.
It's £50, Mr. Grunter.
50?
Pounds.
I see. 50 times 1,000. That works out to very reasonable money, doesn't it?
I assure you the organization is not motivated by profit. Not the kind you mean. The dues merely cover expenses, committee work, research, and the like. Surely you can understand that?
Yes, I suppose so.
Then you find it interesting?
Interesting.
Can you, offhand, think of anyone you would wish...
I think I could.
I'll hound you from the company, Grunter. You and all your psychopathic creeps.
If I put my mind to it.
I've striven hard, man and boy. Given the best years of my life to this organization. I've loved my work. And I'll not see an overambitious gut-cut pipsqueak take over. You will not step into my shoes. And from my shoes will not influence D.B. Stevens. This firm will not become secondary to the whim of a thug like you. I dedicate my life to breaking you, Burton Grunter.
If only it could work.
But it does work, Mr. Grunter. I would have thought that 201 out of 229.
Yes, but... 200 and... Sure. But how can it work, though? wishes became deeds, I'd have slaughtered dozens in my lifetime.
No doubt you would, Mr. Grunter. No doubt you would have. But you weren't aware of my organization then, were you?
No, but... Yes, I suppose it was always different. My wishes then were always secret things, hidden. No man ever knew about them.
And Burton Grunzer strode about the room. He thought swiftly and concisely about the information, the knowledge this amiable little man Mr. Tucker had brought him. The power Mr. Tucker was placing within his grasp. 201 out of 229. Very good odds. What was that? 85%? 90%? Something very like it.
I assure you, in the end, we shall get them all.
Yes. Yes, I can see how it would work. 1,000 minds, burning with a single wish of death. I can imagine, I can see the chosen victim. Sneering in disbelief at first, and then slowly, gradually, giving in, succumbing to fear.
You put it very well, Mr. Grunter. You have a wonderful grasp of what we're aiming for.
At first, of course, the victim would just think that, well, that it might work. And then...
Suddenly, Burton Grunzer saw the ruddy face of Whitman Hayes.
But the victim has to know all this, of course. He has to know the society exists and has succeeded and is wishing for his death. That's absolutely essential, isn't it?
Absolutely essential. You've touched on the vital point, Mr. Grunzer. The victim must be informed. And that, precisely, is what I have done. Your death wish began at noon today. The society has begun to work. I'm very sorry. Goodbye, Mr. Grunzer.
Beyond Midnight, the program is adapted for broadcasting and produced by Michael McCabe.
Past 9.
The last stragglers were leaving Mariner's Waxworks. The uniformed attendants, glad that another day's work was over, were locking up. On the second floor of the old grey building, the manager, a stout, blonde man of smart appearance, was talking to one Raymond Hewson, who looked anything but smart. His clothes, although good once, were showing distinct signs of their owner's losing battle with the world.
There's nothing new in your request. In fact, we refuse it to many people. Young bloods have often made bets, but we don't play ball. We've nothing to gain and something to lose by letting people spend a night in our murderer's den.
A night in the murderer's den.
That's what Raymond Hewson, the man in the shabby clothes, was after. Why? You'll find out. The Waxworks. I must earnestly beseech you not to listen to this Beyond Midnight alone.
Biotex, the new soak and pre-wash powder, presents Beyond Midnight by Michael McCabe.
I had a letter recently from Mrs. V.P., head of 7th Street, Parkmore, Johannesburg, and she said, I cannot fully describe my utter delight on returning to the washing to find the stubborn stains of 2 months' standing completely removed. I am so glad I discovered your product, Biotex. And now Mrs. J. Longman of Cambridge, West East London, wrote to say, just a word of thanks for your new soak and wash powder, Biotex. I find it almost too good to be true. I've just finished my first packet, and I washed all my baby's woolens with it, and they really do stay white. And what is more, they keep their shape so well, too. Once again, thanks for a wonderful product. I'm just hoping you won't wait too long before putting a large economy-size packet on the market. Well, thank you, Mrs. Head of Parkmore, and Mrs. Longman, for your endorsements. I, too, can endorse Biotex by making certain claims to you, ladies, the most important of which is that with Biotex, the stubbornest, the very stubbornest stains just vanish merely by soaking.
Well, we certainly have nothing to gain. If I allowed it and let some young idiot lose his senses, what would be my position, But, of course, your being a journalist somehow, that alters the case.
Well, I suppose you mean that journalists have no senses to lose.
No. But one imagines them to be sensible, responsible people. Besides, here we have something to gain. Publicity and advertisement.
Exactly. And there I thought we might come to terms.
Oh, I know what's coming. You want to be paid twice, do you? It used to be said years ago that Madame Tussauds would give a man £100 for sleeping alone in the Chamber of Horrors. And I hope you don't think we've made any such offer. Well, what's your paper?
Well, I'm freelancing at the moment, working on space for 2 or 3 papers. But, well, I don't think I'll have any trouble in getting this story published. Do you? Morning Echo would use it like a shot. A night with Mariner's murderers. No live paper could turn it down.
How do you propose to treat it?
Well, I'll make it gruesome, of course, but with just a saving touch of humour.
I see. All right, Mr. Hewson. Get your story published in the Echo, and there'll be a £5 note waiting for you here when you care to come and call for it. I'd like to be sure about you, though. And I'd like you to be sure about yourself. I must confess that I wouldn't spend a night in Murderer's Den. I've seen those figures dressed and undressed. I know all about their process of manufacture. I can walk about in company downstairs as if I were walking among so many skittles. But I'd hate to sleep alone down there amongst them.
Why?
I don't know. There isn't any reason. I mean, I don't believe in ghosts. Even if I did, I'd expect them to haunt the scenes of their crimes or the place where their bodies were laid, not a cellar which just happens to contain their waxwork effigies. It's just that I couldn't sit alone among them all night. They seem to stare so. Well, I mean, after all, they do represent the lowest and most appalling forms of humanity. Now, I wouldn't admit this publicly, of course, but the people who come to see our murderers aren't generally charged with the highest motives themselves. No, the whole atmosphere of the place is unpleasant. And if you're susceptible to atmosphere, I warn you, you're in for a very uncomfortable night.
Well, sir, I'm imaginative, I think. I am probably susceptible to atmosphere, as you put it. But it's a good idea. And I've a wife and family to support. Been a bit unlucky lately in the job stakes, you know. And, well, we're living on my savings, which aren't great. But after all, they are only waxworks, aren't they?
You're not superstitious?
No, I don't think so.
But you just said that you have an imagination. As a journalist, you'd need a reasonably strong one, after all.
The editors I've worked for have often complained I haven't any.
All right. I think the last of the people have gone. Now, wait a minute. I'll give orders that the figures happen to be draped. I'll let the night people know you're going to be there, too. One condition, I'm afraid, I must impose on you. I must ask you not to smoke. We had a fire scare down in the murderer's den this evening. I don't know who gave the alarm, but whoever it was a false one. Fortunately, there weren't very many people down there at the time, or there might have been a panic.
All right. A night with Mariner's murderers you want. A night with Mariner's murderers you shall have.
In the passage at the bottom of the stairs were a few preliminary horrors. A rack taken from a medieval castle, relics of the Inquisition, branding irons, thumbscrews. Beyond was the passage into the murderer's den. The Waxworks. Thurtell, the murderer of Weir, stood as if frozen in his diabolical act. Within 5 yards of him sat Mrs. Thompson. There was Lefroy, who killed for gain so that he might ape the gentleman, and Charles Peace, sneering across a gangway at Norman Thorne. Brown and Kennedy, the two most recent additions, stood between Mrs. Dyer and Patrick Mahon.
Oh, no, that's Crippen. I expect you recognize him. Insignificant little beast. Looks as if he couldn't tread on a worm. Oh, there's Armstrong. Looks like a decent, harmless country gentleman, doesn't he? And, of course, who's this? Oh, yes, I was coming to him. He's our star turn. He's the only one of the bunch who hasn't been hanged.
The figure Hewson had indicated was that of a small, slight man, not more than 5 feet in height. It wore little waxed moustaches, large spectacles, and a caped coat. There was something so exaggeratedly French in his appearance that it reminded Hewson of a stage caricature.
Who is he?
That is Dr. Bourdet.
Oh. Don't think I've... Well, somehow the name's familiar, but I forget...
Well, you'd remember better if you were a Frenchman. For some long while, that man was the terror of Paris. He carried on his work of healing by day and of throat-cutting by night, when the fit was on him. He killed for the sheer devilish pleasure it gave him to kill, and always the same way, with a razor. After his last crime, he left a clue behind him which set the police on his track. Now, one clue led to another, and before long they knew they were on the track of the Parisian equivalent of Jack the Ripper. They had enough evidence to send him to the madhouse or the guillotine on a dozen capital charges.
And they caught him then?
No. Our friend was too clever for them, even then. When he realized the net was closing, he just vanished. Disappeared off the face of the earth. Ever since the police of every civilized country have been searching for him.
Oh. Where can he have possibly gone to? I mean, with such a hunt on for him...
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Did himself in, obvious. But in such a way that prevented his body coming to light. Now, 1 or 2 crimes of a smaller, though similar nature have taken place since he disappeared, but he's believed to be dead. The experts think the crimes, as sense, are the actions of imitators.
Look at his eyes.
Yes, that little figure's a masterpiece. You find the eyes bite into you, don't you?
Sort of, yes.
Well, that's excellent realism, then.
What do you mean?
Mesmerism.
Pardon?
Bourdet practiced mesmerism. He was supposed to mesmerize his victims before dispatching them.
Oh.
Indeed, had he not done so, it's difficult to believe how so small a man could have done his ghastly work.
He's very small, isn't he? Doesn't look very strong or anything.
Well, there were never any signs of a struggle. There's an armchair here for you, Mr. Hewson. It's the best we can do for you, I'm afraid. I hope you'll be able to get some sleep. Mr. Hewson. Mr. Hewson.
You know...
I thought... Yes?
Well, I thought, just then, I thought I saw, the doctor, Bourdet, well, silly, but, well, I thought I saw him move.
Keep your home sweet with country fresh atmosphere in every room. Keep Airwick handy. Airwick is the air freshener that actually knocks odors right out of the air. It doesn't just mask them with heavy scent. Airwick is the modern air freshener, in economical bottle or a smart aerosol. Get Airwick. It makes breathing a little nicer.
Soak, soak, that's all you have to do. Soak, soak, just for an hour or two you'll find it's the best as new when you use new Biotex.
With amazing new Biotex, the stubbornest stains will vanish. Yes, vanish clean away. Just by soaking your laundry overnight in cold water, or for an hour or two in warm water, or by pre-washing it quickly in your washing machine. Get amazing new Biotex today. Imagination. Silly, but... Well, I could have sworn just for a second.
You'll have more than one optical illusion before the night's out, I'm afraid. Well, you won't be locked in. You can come upstairs when you've had enough of it. There are watchmen on the premises, so you'll find company. But don't be alarmed if you hear them moving about. I'm sorry I can't give you any more light, but all the lights are on. For obvious reasons, we keep the place as gloomy as possible.
Yes.
And now I think you better return with me to the office for a tot of whiskey before your night's vigil,
Yes, well, for a start, I don't think we'll ever have my armchair facing friend Baudet. Yeah, I think I like him a lot less than the others.
The dim, unwavering light fell on the rows of figures, which were so uncannily like human beings that the stillness and the silence seemed unnatural, ghastly even. Hewson missed the sound of breathing, the rustling of clothes, the 101 minute noises one hears when even the deepest silence has fallen upon a crowd. The air was as stagnant as water at the bottom of a standing pool. Not a breath in the chamber to stir a curtain or rustle a hanging drapery or start a shadow.
Must be like this at the bottom of the sea. Have to work that into the story somehow. Like the bottom of the sea. Sinister lot, I must say. Even Armstrong doesn't look quite such a harmless country gentleman now. Still, there are only Waxworks.
All would be well, thought Hewson. Yet somehow, what prevented him most of all from feeling absolutely comfortable was the knowledge that Dr. Baudet was directly behind him. He knew, in fact, that the little Frenchman's waxen stare was directed at the back of his neck. He itched with a desire to turn round.
Come on. My nerves have started already. If I turn and look at that dressed-up dummy, it'll be an admission of funk.
It's because you're afraid that you won't turn and look at him.
Rubbish. I'm not afraid at all.
Yes, you are.
Rot. Complete and utter rot. Afraid? A lot of Waxworks.
Not of a lot of Waxworks. Just one. Dr. Baudet.
French fool. Not so healthy now, is he?
Look at his eyes.
Don't want to see his eyes.
All the same, he had to eventually have a quick look round at Dr. Baudet.
Only a waxwork like the rest of them. They're all only Waxworks.
All the same, he took another quick look behind him. Now, it did not worry Hewson too much, because it was, after all, only his imagination, but there seemed to be a subtle change in the grouping of the figures around Dr. Baudet. Or was it Dr. Baudet himself? Looking to the front of him, he looked at Crippen. Again, he had the slight feeling that something, somewhere, was a bit different. Crippen seemed, for instance, to have turned 1 degree to the left.
I must have moved my chair a bit. Yeah. Not Crippen. It was me who moved.
And just then, the waxwork of grey moved a hand. At least Hewson thought the hand moved. Just for his own peace of mind, Raymond Hewson gave the waxen figure a little poke. Wax. No more, no less. Lifeless, lifelike wax.
They tell me, the editors, I've no imagination. Better make some notes. Deathly silence. Yeah. Unearthly stillness of the figures.
Then he turned suddenly and looked over his right shoulder. He had neither seen nor heard a movement, but it was as if some sixth sense had made him aware of one. He looked straight into the vapid countenance of Lefroy, which smiled vacantly back as if to say,
"It wasn't I."
Of course it wasn't you. Wasn't any of you.
And then he looked back, and Crippen seemed to have shifted his position slightly.
Can't trust that little beggar. Can't trust any of them. Once you take your eyes off them, they move. Not good enough, this isn't. I reckon I'm going. Not going to spend a night with a lot of waxworks and move when you aren't looking at them. Oh, Hewson, please. Can't move. What are you thinking of?
He encountered the mild, baleful stare of Burdett.
Almost got you that time, Crippen. All the rest of you, too. If I do see one of you move, I'll smash you to pieces. Smash you! Experienced enough already to write my story. 10 stories for that matter. Yeah. Morning Echo. Wouldn't know how long I'd stayed if I cleared out now. As long as the story's good. Yes. But that watchman up there. He'd pull my leg all right. And perhaps the manager wouldn't give me the $5 or $2. Find out all right how long I was here from the watchman. Rose will laugh about this, I tell her. You asleep, Rose girl, or awake thinking of me? Can't have Rose laughing at me. Kids will pull my leg too. Yeah. Nothing worse than... Worse than having... Someone's breathing. Someone was breathing. Well, it wasn't me. They knew I was listening then. And then they stopped. Yeah, yes, they did. This is too much. Bad enough when they move, when I'm not looking. But I'm not having the beggars breathing, too. No, this won't do. I am Raymond Hewson, unsuccessful journalist, but a living and breathing man. And these figures grouped around me are only dummies. Dummies! Yeah. What does it matter if they're lifelike? Wax and sawdust for the entertainment of morbid sightseers and orange-sucking tourists. Ha!
Then the gaze of Dr. Burdett urged, challenged, and finally compelled him to turn.
Huh?
Hewson stared into those dreadful, hypnotic eyes. His own eyes were dilated, and his mouth, at first set into a grin of terror, lifted at the corners into a snarl.
You moved, blasted. Yes, you did. I saw you. I saw you.
Good evening.
Dr. Baudet's movements were quite leisurely. He stepped off his pedestal with the mincing movements of a lady alighting from a bus.
I need hardly tell you that not until I overheard the conversation between yourself and the worthy manager of this establishment did I suspect that I should have the pleasure of a companion here for the night. You cannot move or speak without my bidding, but you can hear perfectly well. Something tells me that you are, shall I say, nervous? And my dear, no illusions. I am not one of these contemptible little effigies suddenly come to life. I am Dr. Baudet himself. Pardon me, but I'm a little stiff. Let me explain. Circumstances with which I need not fatigue you have made it desirable that I should live in England. I was close to the building this evening when I saw a policeman regarding me, thought too curiously. I guessed that he intended to follow me and perhaps ask embarrassing questions. So I mingled with the crowd and came in here. Inspiration showed me a certain means of escape. I raised a cry of fire, and when all the fools had rushed to the stairs, I stripped my effigy of the caped coat, which you behold me wearing, donned it, hid my effigy behind the platform at the back there, and took its place on the pedestal. I own I have spent a most fatiguing evening. The world is divided into collectors and non-collectors. The collectors collect anything according to their own individual tastes. I collect throats.
And the doctor regarded Hewson's throat with interest mingled with disfavor.
My activities of late have been curtailed. I am glad, though, of the pleasant opportunity of gratifying my somewhat unusual whim. I should never have selected you from choice, of course. No, I like men with thick necks. Thick red necks. This is a little French razor. The blade, you will observe, is very narrow. It does not cut very deep, but deep enough. In just one little moment, you shall see for yourself. I shall ask you the little civil question of all polite barbers. Does the razor suit you, sir? You will have the goodness to raise your chin a little. Thank you. And a little more, just a little more. Thank you. Merci, monsieur. Merci. Merci.
Over one end of the chamber was a thick skylight of frosted glass, which, by day, let in a few sickly and filtered rays from the floor above. After sunrise, these began to mingle with the subdued light from the electric bulbs, and this mingled illumination added a certain ghastliness to a scene which needed no additional touch of horror. The waxwork figures stood apathetically in their places, waiting to be admired by the crowds who would presently wander fearfully among them. In their midst, in the center gangway, Hewson sat still, leaning far back in his armchair. His chin was up-tilted, as if he were expecting to receive attention from a barber, and although there was not a scratch upon his throat, nor indeed anywhere upon his whole body, he was cold and quite dead. His previous employers were wrong in having him credited with no imagination. Dr. Baudet, on his pedestal, watched the dead man unemotionally. He did not move, nor was he capable of motion. But then, after all, he was only a waxwork.
I cross the Atlantic pretty often. I have my favorite ships, you see. and I've a habit of waiting for certain vessels I favor. It may be prejudice, but I was only cheated out of a good passage once in my life. I remember it very well. It was one June, and the Kamchatka was a ship I always loved to travel on. I say was, because she emphatically no longer is. She's uncommonly clean in a run aft. She has enough bluffing off in the bows to keep her dry, and a lower berth for most of them double. She has a lot of advantages, but I won't cross that duck pond in her again. Why? You'll find out. You'll find out the terror that was curtained in the upper berth on the June crossing of the Atlantic that year, when all the drowned souls who ever were endeavored to drag me beyond midnight. Biotex, the new soak and pre-wash powder, presents Beyond Midnight by Michael McCabe.
Since Biotex appeared on the market, we've had many endorsements from time to time, and these can be seen in our office. I am broadcasting some of these to you, and will do so as they come to hand. Mrs. 𝒆𝒔 of Fifth Avenue, Pinetown, Natal, wrote and said, "Here's a letter from me of appreciation to the makers of Biotex. I am highly satisfied with Biotex and have introduced my friends to your product, and so far there has not been one complaint that it does not live up to the claims you make for it. I have two sons aged 2.5 and 1 year. The elder boy gets filthy dirty, and his clothes are pretty much the worse for wear at the end of the day. The baby naturally drags himself about, and his little diapers become very black and dirty at the end of each day, too. The point I'm trying to make with you is that every night I soak these diapers and the elder child's clothing in Biotex, and in the morning, all I have is a slight rubbing and rinsing, and that's it. The name again is Biotex."
$105, lower berth, please. The steward took my portmanteau, greatcoat, and rug. I shall never forget the expression on his face. I supposed at the time, as he led me into the lower regions, that the steward had had a little grog, but I said nothing and followed him. 105 was on the port side, well aft. There was nothing remarkable about the cabin. The lower berth was double. There was the usual washing apparatus. The folded blankets looked like large buckwheat cakes. The general air was one of desolation, I remember.
I'll try and make you as comfortable as I can, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, sir. So, I hope it'll be a good crossing for you.
Well, one passes across the Atlantic very much like another. Whales and icebergs are always indeed objects of interest. But after all, one whale is very much like another whale, and one rarely sees an iceberg at close quarters.
I agree, sir. No, one don't.
I must say, I'm not looking forward to the first day at sea. People pace the decks and stare at one. Everything's uncertain. No one knows whether the food's going to be good or bad or indifferent. Seasickness. No, I don't like the first day. Not that I'm generally sick, but new sailors, you know.
Yeah. Well, sir, if everything...
Yes, thanks very much. I'm sure you want to go and look after more passengers now.
Oh, thank you, sir. Pleasant trip.
I had the funny feeling, even then, that he was thinking me a queer fish. I don't know why. I also felt he didn't like number 105. But I mean, he wasn't going to live in it. I wasn't very keen either, but it didn't worry me unduly. I wasn't very pleased to find I was to have a companion, I have to admit. Before I'd been long in bed that night, he came in too. He was very tall, very pale, very thin, with sandy hair and whiskers. He was overdressed and a bit odd. I didn't like him and made up my mind I'd give him a miss whenever possible. If he rose early, I decided I would rise late, and vice versa. Anyway, I was pretty tired that first night. And perhaps the cabin wouldn't be so bad after all, I thought. What the devil?
happened to him? Gone. Nightmares? Rolling a bit. Odd smell. Damp sort of. Blasted cold, in fact. What happened to that other fellow? Well.
Fine morning. Well, it's a fine morning, and it's not a fine morning. I don't think it's much of a morning myself.
Well, no, it's not a very fine, must admit. You're the doctor, aren't you? My name's Brisbane.
It's just what I call fugly weather. Yes, I'm the doctor. How do you do?
How do you do? Very cold last night, I thought. However, when I looked, I found the porthole was wide open. Hadn't noticed it when I went to bed. Cabin was damp, too.
Damp? Whereabouts are you?
105.
100?
Whatever's the matter?
Oh, nothing, no. Only, it's just that everybody's complained of that cabin for the last 3 trips.
Oh, well, I shall complain, too. Certainly hasn't been properly aired. It's a shame.
Look, I don't believe it can be helped. You see, I believe there's something...
What?
Well, it's not my business to frighten passengers.
Oh, you needn't be afraid of frightening me. I can stand any amount of damp. If I get a cold, I shall come to you.
It's not so much the damp. However, I just say you'll get along very well. You have a roommate?
The deuce of a fellow who bolts out during the night and leaves the door open. Doctor, you keep staring at me.
Did he come back, this fellow?
Yes. I was asleep, but I woke up and heard him moving. Then I felt cold and went to sleep again. This morning I found the porthole open.
Look here, I don't care much for this ship. I don't care a rap for a reputation. I tell you what I'll do. I have a good-sized cabin up here. I'll share it with you, although I don't know you from Adam.
That's very good of you. Really, I think even now the cabin could be aired and cleaned out or something. Why don't you care for the ship?
We're not superstitious in our profession, sir. But the sea makes people so. I don't want to prejudice you, and I don't want to frighten you. But if you'll take my advice, you'll move in with me. I'd as soon see you overboard as know that you or any other man was asleep in 105.
Good gracious. Why?
Just because on the last 3 trips, the people who have slept there actually have gone overboard.
I was sure the doctor wasn't pulling my leg, but I was resolute all the same. I told him that even if 3 people had gone overboard, I was going to prove the exception. At breakfast that morning, I noticed that 1 or 2 of the officers looked grave. When I'd finished my meal, I left the dining room. I was informed by the steward that the captain of all people wanted to see me. I went toward the captain's cabin and found him waiting for me.
Sir, I want to ask a favor of you.
Do anything to oblige you.
Your roommate has disappeared. He's known to have turned in early last night. Did you notice anything extraordinary in his manner?
You don't mean to say he's gone overboard?
I fear he has.
He's the 4th, then. And I told the captain what the doctor had told me. He seemed annoyed. Then I told him what had occurred in the night. He was shocked and looked very grave.
What you say coincides almost exactly with what was told to me by the roommates of the 2 of the others who disappeared from 105. That bolt out and down the passage. 2 of them were seen to go overboard by the watch. Nobody, however, saw or heard the man who was lost last night.
The others, you searched, of course?
Of course. We stopped and lowered the boats, but we found nothing. Now, sir, I beg you not to mention this to any of the other passengers.
I don't want the ship to get a bad name, and nothing hangs about the ocean going like stories of suicides. You shall have the choice of the officers' cabins, including mine, for the rest of the trip. Is that a bargain?
Yes, but I shan't move, thank you. If the steward will just take that unfortunate man's things out, I'll stay where I am. You'd have no fear that I'll follow him.
I'd rather...
Thank you, Captain. I'd rather stay where I am. Just one or two small things. I'd like the room cleaned and aired. I'd like the fastening of the port looked into. The thing was open this morning. And maybe the catch is loose or something.
Of course, you've every right to stay where you please, but... Oh, well, hang it, men. I wish you'd let me lock the place up and have done with it.
Towards evening, I met the doctor again, and he asked me whether I'd changed my mind. I told him I had not. He didn't say much, just...
You will, before long.
To handle his car. Johnson's Raleigh, the new car wax with the detergent-proof formula. Won't wash off. It's detergent-resistant. Raleigh gives sure wax protection that's deep and long-lasting. And the finish is fast, very fast. Johnson's Raleigh car wax in liquid or paste form.
Soak, soak, that's all you have to do. Soak, soak, just for an hour or two you'll find. It's so as good as new when you use new Biotex.
Amazing new Biotex soaks stubborn stains away.
Clean, clean, everything soon will be clean, clean, for all the world to see. Soak, soak, stains away easily when you use new Biotex.
Get amazing new Biotex today and let soaking do the washing.
Stewart? Yes, sir. What the deuce do you mean, you scoundrel? Leaving the port open every night. That's against the regulations. Do you realize if the ship heeled and water started to come in, 10 men couldn't shut it? I'm going to report you to the captain for endangering the ship.
Sir?
Well?
Sir, if you please, sir, there's nobody on board who can keep that porthole shut. You can try it yourself, sir. I ain't staying on this ship any longer once she docks, sir. And if I was you, sir, I'd just clear out and go and sleep with a surgeon or something.
I don't want to sleep with a surgeon.
Try that port now, sir. Wait, sir. There, sir. Try it now, sir. It's fast.
Right.
Yes, sir. But I wager my reputation as an A1 steward that within half an hour that thing will be open again.
If I find it open in the night, I'll give you a $5. It's not possible.
$5, did you say, sir? Oh, thank you, sir. Good night, sir. Pleasant repose and all manner of enchanting dreams, sir. Night, sir.
I went to bed and I slept. I awoke startled, sometime in the small hours. I felt the draft. I got out of my bunk and stood. The port was again wide open. It was then I thought I heard someone or something moving behind the closed curtains in the upper berth. I thrust in my hands to see if there was anyone in the upper berth. There was someone. It was as if I was plunging my hands into a damp cellar. The air was full of the smell of stagnant seawater. I laid hold of something that had the shape of a man's arm. It was smooth and wet and icy cold, and then the creature sprang violently forward against me. A clammy, oozy mass hit against me. It was heavy and wet and seemed endowed with supernatural strength. And then the creature rushed to the door and out. A sort of creeping horror had taken hold of me. But I examined the upper berth once more. By the light of the railway reading light I always carry with me. The bed had been slept in. The smell of the sea was strong, but the bedding was as dry as bone. I did not sleep any more. I waited for the porthole to open again. It didn't.
Morning. Doctor, you're quite right. There is something wrong about 105, and that's an understatement.
Thought you'd change your mind. Had a bad night, huh? You want to pick me up? I have a capital recipe.
No, thank you. But I would like to tell you what happened.
Come to my place.
The peculiar thing was I couldn't get the blasted port closed. I struggled and actually bent the brass fittings before I finally got it to stay.
Bring your bags here. Stay with me.
No. You come and take half of my cabin for a night. Help me get to the bottom of this thing.
You'll get to the bottom of something else if you try.
What?
The bottom of the sea. I'm leaving this ship. It's not canny.
You won't help me then?
Not I. It's my business to cure passengers' ailments, not monkey about with ghosts and things.
You really believe it is a ghost?
Have you any reasonable explanation of these things to offer? No, you have not. You say you'll find an explanation. Well, I tell you once, sir, because there isn't one.
But, my dear sir, can you tell me as a man of science that these things can't be explained?
I can tell you, and I do. And even if they could be explained, I would not be concerned with that explanation.
I'd made up my mind to spend another night in 105. If the doctor wouldn't join me, I was determined to have the captain. Consequently, I told him the whole story. I said that if no one would spend the night with me, I would ask leave to have the light burning all night and would try it alone. The captain fell for my ploy.
Look here. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll show you watch myself. We'll just see what happens. Then maybe some fellow skulking on board who steals a passage by frightening the people on the ship. It's just possible that there may be something queer in the carpentering of that berth.
Then I suggest, Captain, we take with us the ship's carpenter and make a thorough examination of the whole cabin.
Certainly. We will.
We did that. We took the cabin bit by bit completely to pieces. We found nothing in the least bit extraordinary. As we were finishing our work, the steward, Robert, looked in.
Well, sir, did you find anything, sir? You were right about the porthole, Robert. Here we are.
Oh, thank you, sir. Well, begging your pardon, sir, I'm a plain man, sir. But it's my belief you'd better turn out your things and let the carpenter here run half a dozen 4-inch screws through the door of this cabin. There's been 4 lives lost out of here to my own remembrance. And that in 4 trips. Better give it up, sir. Better give it up.
I'll try it for one more night.
Now, you'll just put your signature to that, Mr. Brisbane?
Yes, sir.
You see, I cannot afford to laugh at the affair. Your signature to this writing, telling what we're about to do, is at least proof that another responsible man believed that something queer was happening in room 105 this crossing. Oh, well, if both of us are all right after this night and we do observe or experience anything uncanny, then you and I together will fill in our experiences and emotions. If nothing happens tonight, we'll try it again tomorrow and the next day. Now, suppose we put your portmanteau before the door. One of us can sit on it. Nothing can get out then. Is the port screwed down?
Yes. I like the reading lantern, as you suggest. And now we can see well into the upper berth.
And I shall sit before the door.
I've searched thoroughly. There's nothing in here save ourselves. Nothing at all. It's impossible for any human being to get in. Or for any human being to open the port.
All right. If we see anything now, it must be either imagination or something supernatural. First time it happened was in March. The person who slept here in the upper berth turned out to have been a lunatic. He'd taken this passage without the knowledge of his friends. He rushed out in the night and threw himself overboard before the officer of the watch could stop him. His suicide was accounted for on the grounds of his insanity. I've never heard of such a thing ever occurring before or after or in any other ship. Well, on the very trip... What are you looking at?
I could not reply. My eyes were riveted upon the porthole. The brass loop nut was beginning to turn, very slowly, upon the screw.
It moves. It's loosened. Look at it.
it loose. I can turn it just with my hand. The queer thing is that the second man who was lost was supposed to have gone through that porthole. The weather was very heavy. There was an alarm that one of the ports was open, that the sea was coming in. Down here, we found the whole cabin flooded. The water poured in every time the ship rolled. Ever since then, that place smells of seawater. On my word, I can smell it now, can't you? Yes. To smell like this, the place must be damp. And yet when the carpenter examined it this morning, it seemed perfectly dry. Why? How did that bolt on the port come loose, Captain? I saw it move. Hello. How did... My reading lantern, which had been placed in the upper berth, was extinguished. Most extraordinary. What? The port! It's no good. Wait. Stick. Do the ring. No good. Nothing can close it. Nothing. I'm as good. Brisbane, there's something in the upper berth. Hold the door. It won't escape us, whatever it is. No, wait. And I flung myself across that cabin and seized something which lay in the upper berth. It was something ghostly, horrible beyond words, and it moved in my grip. It was like the body of a man long drowned, and yet it moved and had the strength of 10 men living. Dead white eyes seemed to stare at me out of the dusk. The putrid odor of rank seawater was about it. Shiny hair hung in foul, wet curls over its face. I was wrestling with a dead thing. It wound its corpse's arms around my neck, the living death that was overpowering me. I lay a long time on that cabin floor. The thing, whatever it was, could only have gone one way out, through the port. I revived the captain. He wasn't hurt, but badly stunned. There's nothing more. The carpenter ran a dozen 4-inch screws through the door of 105. And if ever you take a passage on the 𝒆𝒍'𝒔, you may ask for a berth in that cabin. You'll be told that it is engaged. It is engaged by something that's dead. I finished the trip in the surgeon's cabin. The captain never sailed again on that ship, although it is still running. I shall never sail her either. You see, I saw a ghost, if that's what the thing was. It was dead anyway. I believe that somehow that poor wretch who flung himself overboard, the first one, the lunatic, I believe he's condemned until that ship sails the Atlantic for the last time, to sleep in the upper berth and hurl himself to his drowning death at night, every night.
Let's play some music. I feel like dancing.
But I thought you had a splitting headache.
Oh, that was 5 minutes ago. I've taken Grandpa headache powder since.
Grandpa headache powders kill pain, soothe strained nerves, and lift depression. Grandpa headache powders are extra effective because they have a triple action. Grandpa headache powders work extra fast because they dissolve almost immediately. Get fast, effective relief from any pain, all pain. Get Grandpa headache powders.
Ah, Grandpa.
Soak, soak, that's all you have to do. Soak, soak, just for an hour or two you'll find things look as good as new when you use new Biotex.
Amazing new Biotex acts with a biological action to soak out the stubbornest stains and loosen dirt. New Biotex is great for all textiles and synthetics, whites and colors. It contains no bleach. Get amazing new Biotex today and let soaking do the washing.
Beyond Midnight is presented every Friday night at 9:30 by Biotex, the new soak and pre-wash powder. The program is adapted for broadcasting and produced by Michael McCabe.